What's going on? Welcome back to another Sunday Q&A, and I'm down at the junkyard just kind of messing with some stuff today, getting the Charger ready to take down to the body shop. So a lot of stuff has been going on this week. I have been working on my trailer. It really consumed a lot of time to get it ready to get some cars, bring this car down to the body shop. Um, the reason I'm taking it down to a body shop is because I don't have the correct tools to do all the spot welding and stuff. So a guy that me and Trevor know, it's in the same complex as Trevor's shop is, but he has all the tools. He has a little bit more knowledge, and I want this thing to be done correctly. So I'm going to help him, or yeah, I'm going to help him, and he's going to just kind of um, coach me on what to do, give me a few little tips and tricks here and there. I pretty much have everything sorted to how I want it to be done, but I don't want it to turn into this big deal where, I'm running into a bunch of issues where I don't have the spot welder, I don't have the tools to correctly form the sheet metal how I want it to be formed, and I don't want to go and have to buy all these tools and then run into the issue of waiting to get them in the mail, because everything really has been really slow shipping. So I did order, like I said in the last, I think I said in the last live stream, I did order all the stuff to body solder it. So the plan is this, we're still going to do the same thing with the spot welds, make a ledge and body solder it, but it hopefully by the end of next week I'll have it in high build primer, which will be really nice. And really this whole coming up week I'm just going to be focusing on getting this thing 100% done, and maybe Monday, next Monday we'll have it in high build, which will be really nice. That is the hopes and that is the plan, but there's always those things that you run into. I have all the stuff that we need, but it is going to be a lot of work to get it to this point. So yeah, I'm getting the car ready to take over to the shop and have some fun with it, and I just can't wait. Let's see. Oh. Good afternoon, Dave. What's going on? Stuff from New Mexico. What's up? Did you really hit the lottery? No. Let's see. It's funny how people's perception of money is on YouTube. Like, everybody tries to figure out where people are getting their money from. It's just, just work. That's all it takes is hard work. Let's see. Hey Dave, what's up, Tony? Hey Dave, how are you doing? I'm not too bad, Toby. Hello, Dave from Malaysia. What's going on? Have you seen the other Charger wagon on YouTube? I have not. Which one? There's a bunch of different ones, but none of them are really Chargers. So, did you buy a Mini? So I'm still waiting on the guy to get back to me. I was supposed to pick it up. I was supposed to pick it up Wednesday, but he hasn't had time to. So all the interior stuff, I guess, is in a storage unit, and a bunch of the parts are in a storage unit, and he hasn't had time to go to the storage unit, which is weird. Usually, if you have somebody that wants to buy something, you'd go to the storage unit and just get all the stuff, and then you wouldn't have to pay, because I would have got it before the end of the month, and now he's gonna have to pay storage on all that stuff for another month. It doesn't make sense. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he's not gonna sell it, or who knows. But yeah, that is the plan, to pick that thing up and have some fun with it. Actually, I just kind of want to get it running and actually see how it runs. It's kind of a disaster, but that's the fun of getting cheap cars. You get these old projects people started and never finished, and then you get to put them back together. Let's see. Good afternoon from Chile. What is going on? Yo man, can't wait to see this thing finished. One of a kind. Thanks. Me neither. I can't wait to see it in high build primer. That's really what's going to get me, is having the whole like back end, all the sheet metal work finally done. It's one of those things that's just been a long process to get it to where it is now, and throughout the next week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever, once it's in high build, it's just going to be crazy to see it all as one piece. So I can't wait, and it's coming. So hi from the UK, what's up? Who has been the most important car influence slash person in your life? I don't know. I mean, so my family knows a lot of people, I guess you would say, in racing. So I don't know. I've kind of been I've kind of been to a lot of races. I mean, my grandma's best friend is Robert Height's aunt. So so yeah, I've met him a couple times. I mean, my dad's hung out with John Force. Who else? I mean, throughout the whole time I was growing up, my dad's friend used to own the Hooters motorcycle team for like super bikes, and we used to hang out with them when they came to PPIR. When it was a racetrack. Now it's just kind of it's not really holding sanctioned races anymore, but when they were, we'd hang out with them. All the Hooters girls would stay at my house or my parents' house. It was pretty cool. Growing up, I mean, just all kinds of stuff. My dad's other friend does like Dakar. He built all of pretty much most of the big like trucks and off-road stuff for them. But I don't know. It's just growing up, I was around racing a lot, and I really didn't like working on cars until I actually started driving cars. So that was the biggest turning thing. I was always around racing growing up. It was just one of those things. You're watching it, and I'm not really the kind of person that is interested in watching a lot of stuff. I mean, I'll watch movies and stuff, but really until I was able to drive a car and kind of have that experience of, you know, you kind of are behind the wheel, even though it's kind of, my first car was kind of a crappy car. I mean, it's just that experience. So that's, I mean, it's just a bunch of different things where kind of influenced me throughout my life. And then now I build stuff like this, or try to build stuff like this, and try to do cool stuff. I mean, I've always done kind of cool stuff the whole time. Even when I wasn't doing YouTube, I was doing, I mean, I had the first Sylvia swap 240 in Colorado. Then me and my friends did SR20 swaps. We always went up to the mountains drifting back, like before anybody drifted in the U.S. Oh, I mean, not in the U.S., I guess, but in Colorado. But I mean, it was just one of those things. It's just not really one person. I mean, hi, how's it going? Now you have the parts. Are there coming more videos? So yeah, there's more videos coming. I mean, I get at least one video out a week. I think I got 2 videos out this week. I think maybe it's 1. I don't remember. But you know, doing my trailer was a big project. I mean, it took me pretty much all week to do it, just because I had to pretty much rewire the whole thing, and then I redecked the whole thing, which is a very big undertaking. I mean, how I wired it, it wasn't just like a trailer, like a normal trailer wiring job. So I made a video of that, which will be coming out. I'll probably post that Monday, and then you know, I had to get the trailer back up and going so I could take the Charger over to the body shop, which I probably could have used it, but I was just getting kind of tired of the brakes stopped working because of the wiring, and then some of the lights stopped working, and it was just going downhill. The wood was just all cracking and breaking through, so I just didn't want to have any issues towing this thing over there and just kind of go from there. So once I start painting this and doing some stuff that is a little bit on the, you know, the less intricate side, I'll definitely maybe be able to go back to dailies. I mean, I was doing dailies for a very long time, and then you know, I started this project, and there's just so much goes into it. I mean, I could make videos every day, but it'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna install the 2 doors and cut the door frames off these doors for this video. So I mean, I don't know. There'll be more videos. So let's see. People don't understand they got to get up and work hard. Yeah, it's true. I mean, if everything was given to everybody for free, I mean, I wouldn't be building anything like this because it wouldn't be worth my time. I'd just be sitting at home playing video games because it wouldn't matter. Let's see. Do you have any old Oldsmobile parts for a 75 Delta 88? I do not. And check out Joker performance work for the Hellcat blower. So this is going to be turboed, so I don't really have to worry about a messing with the supercharger. Let's see. Hello from Holland. What's up? You think I can make my 392 Charger all-wheel drive? I mean, you probably can't because you'd have to section in a piece of the floor. I mean, and then it really wouldn't be worth it because then you'd have to get one of the all-wheel drive transmissions, and then you have to swap oil pans. I mean, at that point, you might as well just get a police car and swap your 392 in the police car. But then the transmission won't work because they're two different transmissions. I mean, you'd have to figure out how to reflash it and all that stuff. So it's definitely, I don't think it'd be worth it. Will you take the Charger wagon to SEMA when it's completed? So like I've said before, the only way I'll take this to SEMA is if a company pays to pretty much take it out there. So I'm not gonna, I've known a few people that have taken stuff to SEMA, and it's really, at the end of the day, not worth your time. You end up spending so much money to transport the car there and back. The companies really don't reimburse you for any of that, and it just becomes this big thing. Then you have to have the car sitting there. I know a few people that have had cars there, and they actually got damaged from people like it looked like somebody dropped the camera on their hood. So it's just one of those things. I mean, if I had this at SEMA, I'd probably have it so people couldn't actually get too close to it, because with all the work I put into it, I mean, I wouldn't want somebody dropping a camera on it because they wanted to get 2 inches from the car, and then their butterfingers couldn't hold the camera anymore. But I mean, if a company wants it out there, I mean, and they want to pay to take it out there, that's cool, because I paid to build a car. I'm not going to pay to show a car at a show. So I mean, I do plan on driving this thing quite a bit. I want to do the Hellcat and this cross-country road trip. So we'll see about that. I mean, that's really something I have been wanting to do, and I really, on the Hellcat, I put it off. I wanted to take it up to California for the 4th of July, and then the whole thing happened with all this BS, and then nothing's been open, nobody's been doing anything. You can't do anything. So maybe next year I'll do after winter's all said and done and everything's all kind of getting into spring, I'll either take this or the Hellcat for the first part of the cross-country road trip, and then I'll swap them out and then take the other one for the next part of it. So I mean, I think it'll be a lot better as long as everything kind of clears up next year, and stuff's events start happening, and stuff kind of ramps back up to how it used to be. It's just been one of those years. Not much has really been happening. Everything's got canceled, which kind of is a bummer. So what do you do for a living? I do quite a bit of different things. I mean, there's not just one thing. So it's a mix. Can I do this in my fourth what area? I don't know. Oh, in your Crown Vic? Can I do this in my Crown Vic? What are you trying to do in your Crown Vic? Let's see. What turbos? So I'm not exactly sure the sizing yet, but probably going to go towards maybe like two 9180 EFRs, or like an internally they make the new internally gated 9180s. So they're way more compact. I may go that route. I may go another route, but I want to get the engine together before I start deciding what size turbocharger, and I may end up having to. I'm going to go with 9180s. I might have to downsize depending on how the lag is. Those turbos really don't have much lag, but I do want to run, I want to run some twins, but maybe a big single. I don't know. I just don't want to have that issue where you have that big laggy spot, which is a lot of fun. I mean, when you're driving a car that has a lot of lag and it's like a really high horsepower car, it's a lot of fun, and then you get into that sketchy spot. But we'll see what happens. Do you have all the parts to rebuild the Trackhawk motor yet? I don't. So I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. I need to figure out how big I'm gonna bore it. I was thinking about just pretty much making a 426, and I think the bore on those is 4.125, and the stroke's like 4.095 or something like that. But I pretty much just want to just copy that, do that, so it's a 100% 426 with newer, upgrade pistons and rods and stuff like that. So I don't have the parts. I need to start looking into what I'm going to get and just kind of go from there. But we'll see what happens with that. I mean, it's getting to that point. Once I lay down the Dakota High build, I'm going to have to start really focusing on the drivetrain, because I need to get that stuff busted out and all together, because once the high build on the back of the car is done, really the next thing after that is making the roof skin, and then once the roof skin's done, the car is going to get painted, because it's going to be that point. So and then once the car's painted, I mean, we're going to have this thing running and driving, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do about the drivetrain, what I'm going to have to figure out about the interior, and just a bunch of stuff. So there's a lot of things to think about, and hopefully it all works out and comes together. Ever thought about growing out your beard? So I usually let this thing grow. This is probably, I had it really long one time and I didn't like it. I did it to win a no shave November, which I did win, but yeah, I mean, it gets to this point right here, and I usually just cut it off, because it just gets, I don't like the feeling, and once it gets longer than this, I just don't like, because it like starts to get in your lip and stuff, and it's just, I don't know, I just like it short. So you are a lifesaver. I don't know why, but thanks. Any progress on potentially owning the Junkyard? So I haven't heard anything, and I mean, I really haven't asked because I've been so busy, but I don't know. I just, at this point, we'll see what happens with it, because there's just so much going on, and that's a huge chunk of change to put down. So and I still have, what I'm thinking, it's a huge chunk of change, and I still haven't even got a price. So plus, I don't know, it would be cool, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's so much EPA stuff and that I was thinking about and looking into, and if there's a few ways I could do it, which I may still look into, but it's just one of those things. I mean, I need to think about it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's still up in the air. Let's see. Have you had any thoughts on any resto mods? And if so, what car would you do? I don't know yet. I really haven't put much thought into it. The only real car that I have thought about recently was that Mini Cooper, and I don't know if it really be considered a resto mod, but it's like the only thing that I've really looked into recently. So yeah. First impression of Judah's Garage wide body Hellcat. I've never even seen it, so I don't know. Any worries of flexing? What flexing? This, if you're talking about the car, it's all pretty much how the factory would do it. So I mean, there's no flexing. Once, well, this isn't even structural down here, that piece, but up here, I mean, there isn't going to be any flexing in this thing, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see. Take wagon on power tour. What's that? Thoughts on the new Ram TR? I don't know. All those, like the Raptors, and now they built that. It's just, those trucks are just, they're cool, but at the end of the day, the Raptors, if you still jump them, they break stuff. So it's like one of those trucks you buy because you want to look like you go off road, but you're never going to actually take it off road. So I don't know. I mean, I really haven't looked too much into it either. So what's my dream car? My dream car is still the 240Z, and I probably should start working on that thing before I'm like 100 years old. E85 or pump gas? So I don't know exactly how I'm gonna tune this, or if I'm gonna do a standalone ECU, or what I'm gonna do on it, but I still want everything to work with the display and all the buttons and all that stuff. So I may end up just flashing the ECU, and somehow I'm gonna have to figure out how to add the electronic transfer case into like a Hellcat ECU, which I am not even sure how to do yet. I haven't looked at it, looked into it, anything like that. Or if I have to use a Trackhawk ECU, and yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it, but I want to have it flex fuel, so I wouldn't mind doing 85, but I do want it to be flex fuel so I could run pump gas. And I mean, it's gonna be, I'm not sure what size injectors I'm gonna have to make. I think they're only gonna have to be like 1700s. I think like some 1700s would make, I'd have to look into it a little bit better. I think 1700s would make 1500 on pump gas, but we'll see. It all depends on the dyno. Thoughts on a 6x6 Ram? I'm not really a fan of the 6x6s. I don't really get the idea, like the reason behind doing it. It's just, I saw a Land Rover that's like a 6x6, and I don't know. Jeep rebuilds. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do another Dodge or Chrysler product after I finish this car, like a newer one, just because the fact it's so difficult to get parts. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things. I might have to go to the next thing. I might have to buy like a new Corvette wrecked or something, or something like that, because I know Chevy gets parts fast. I definitely know Ford can get you parts fast. Maybe like a new GT500 or something. But hot rod power tour. What was the issue with the lift kicking out? Was it a lift issue? So I made a video kind of a long time ago about it. So what happened was all the bolts must have just over time gotten loose, and the lift just flexed, which caused the arm to kick out. So I tightened them all back down, and so far it seemed pretty decent. I'm still kind of sketched out using it, especially with this. I haven't been lifting it up that high. So when I put the the drivetrain in here finally, after the car's all painted and stuff, I'll probably just lift it up high enough. And I do have the I'm not going to spot weld the front bumper support on, because it does bolt on in 8 spots. So I'll just leave that piece so I could pull it off, and then I'll just lift the car up high enough so I could push the tranny and the engine in there on the subframe, and then just lift it up with a jack, so I don't have to worry about this thing falling off the lift. Because once it's painted, I mean, if this thing fell off the lift, I'd probably burn this whole place down. So I mean, I'd literally probably burn this whole place down. But yeah, we'll just leave it low so we don't have any issues, and then I'll just work around it. Eventually I'll build a shop and then buy a brand new lift and not have to ever worry about it again. I'm surprised you don't own a 300ZX TT. You seem like a collector of cool cars. So I have been kind of looking for one for a long time, but the only issue is I'm pretty sure they made hardtop ones, and if I could find a hardtop one, I would buy one, because I've never been a fan of T-tops or the Targa tops or sunroofs or anything like that. So if you, well, I mean, the FD and the FC do have sunroofs, but if I could have found them without sunroofs, I would have bought them. But yeah, I'm not a fan of any of that stuff. So I've also been really considering converting my FD with a sunroof into a hardtop, because hardtops just look so much better. I mean, sunroofs are just, I don't know. I barely ever use the sunroof in anything that I have. Horsepower goals. So what I want to do is have the low tune. So on my Hellcat, it's 500 and 707. I want this thing to be 900 in like 13 to 1500 for the high settings. So so then I can sandbag some people and be like, oh yeah, I mean, you almost had me, and then put it on the like 13 or 1500 horsepower tune, and then just destroy. But Junkyard Dave, I caught the tail end of it, but you seemed to not like the Turbo Mani you made. What didn't you like, and what would you do different next time? The Turbo Mani, the one on the FD, I liked. It's exactly how I wanted it. But I think that's the only turbo manifold I've made so far. I'm gonna have to make some turbo manifolds for this, but I need to design some flanges for it first. So I'll also have to. There's a lot of things that I have to do. So it's very time consuming, and I don't like make a lot of videos of designing stuff, because, like I've said previously, it's just one of those things. I don't feel like very many people are interested in the SolidWorks time lapses, which, who knows. How did you learn all this? Just by doing it. I mean, you just try things out. When you make mistakes, you learn from them, and then you just don't do them again. But I thought you got the other guy to make one that replaced the one you made. I may have misremembered. I had just subbed to the channel and thought I saw that. So I made one manifold, and then I made another one, and then I just had it welded up. So I just had him welded up because he welds a lot of stuff, and I mean, I could weld stuff, but it's not consistent. So on like TIGging manifolds and stuff like that. So it's one of those things. It's just practice. I do practice every time I get a chance, but it was something that I wanted to be done, and I don't want to have to go back and have to redo it and stuff like that. So it's so I made the manifold. I just had him weld it, which VW Golf R build. Man, I don't know about Volkswagens. They're just such a pain to work on. I just get so tired of working on Volkswagens. Yeah, I don't know. I I've been thinking about an Audi. No, actually, I thought about a Volkswagen, but it wasn't a. It was a. I've been looking at some Phaetons because they're the W12s, but um, I don't know. I've seen a few that make a lot of power, but they're just such a big car. How do you do it? I mean, building a complete car from scratch. So I don't know. I'm able to, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I could kind of envision things how they're going to look when they're done, so I can just kind of work towards that once I have what I want to build. I mean, that's pretty much how I build everything. I have, I kind of have this general idea of how I want it to look, and I just kind of go off of what I've kind of thought of, I guess. But it's just one of those things. I mean, I've been able to do it always, so I could just kind of see what I want it to look like and then just build towards it. So it's just one of those things. And then building, doing stuff like welding and all this other stuff. I mean, I've just kind of taught myself it over, and painting, I just taught myself by doing it. So you make mistakes, you just kind of resolve the mistakes, and then next time you don't make the same mistakes. So hey man, what's going on? Who's a better mechanic, you or Trevor? It seems electrically you are wiser and have more patience, but in whose mind, okay, but who in your mind is of better quality? I don't know, I'd say hands down me, but I mean, Trevor would probably say hands down him, but at the end of the day, I mean, I build a lot of stuff, and a lot of people know it. So I'm gonna just stick with me, because I mean, I know how to do quite a bit more mechanically, and when I build something, I'm not going to go any further, because I'm just going to start talking shit, and I don't want to talk shit. So because me and Trevor are friends, but I'm going to say me. So we'll just go with that. Love watching the vids, Dave. You've inspired me to learn more and more skills. Cool. Thanks. I appreciate that you like the vids and that you're expanding your skills. VW electrical gremlins, pull the dash, and all the wires are same color with faded line. I mean, I've dealt with, I don't know, I feel like BMWs are worse with electronics than Volkswagens. I mean, Volkswagens have their issues, but I don't think through any of the Volkswagens I've ever owned, other than them having like that power distribution burning out, that's really the only electrical issue I've ever had with a Volkswagen. Do you like the old cars or the new ones? I mean, they're all about the same. I mean, old cars, a lot of them have a lot of unique features and looks, and the newer cars, a lot of them just kind of seem to be kind of blending together almost. I mean, you look at like the Evos and the STIs, and then you look at this and that, and they're just kind of all almost blending together. All the people that are designing these cars must hang out together or something, because the car designs, I mean, some of the cars are just kind of going really downhill. I wish if you could snap your fingers and this project would be done. Seems like it's becoming Project Binky from UK. Not complaining. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that long, but it definitely is quite a bit of work. So, I mean, even if it takes me till December 31st to have this thing painted and the body 100% completely done, with the subframes done and the drivetrain in there, that's still only a year to pretty much build a car from scratch, which really isn't that bad if you ask me. So with how much I've had to do this car, which is to me not that bad. So should I make a soapbox derby car with a point at the front so it can speed up more? Can you explain that? If you're gonna make a soapbox derby car, I would make one with I'd make one out of lead and make that thing as heavy as you possibly can, and it could look like a brick. So it doesn't matter. It just soapbox derby's all about weight. So I don't think aerodynamics really has much to do with it, unless you're going up hills and stuff. Because some of those, I've seen some of those races where they go kind of up a little hill, but even at that point, you're not going really that fast. I mean, if you have more momentum with the weight, you should be fine. So just throw some lead weights in there. You'll be all right. Let's see. Would you ever consider putting a Cummins or a diesel swap on a Magnum Charger? That would be unique and cool. No, I don't think I'd ever put a diesel engine in a car, like a truck diesel engine. There's just no reason to do it. I was super pumped on this week's video. Thanks. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, it's gonna be cool. I mean, I know what it's gonna look like, but a lot of people that are watching the videos don't really have the vision that I do. So they're just kind of out there. They're just seeing like a bunch of sheet metal and no panels and all this stuff, and they're just like, what am I looking at? It's just a disaster. But we're getting somewhere with it. So it will be coming together, and once it looks like something and people can actually see what I see, I think it'll be doing a lot better. Your favorite automotive YouTuber? I really don't watch much YouTube. Will you have any use for a CNC plasma table, or not worth the money for what for where you're at right now with your builds? I mean, it doesn't really cost that much to have a company plasma cut stuff for you if you design it and provide the metals. So I would rather, if I had more room and I had like a dedicated spot for like a machine shop almost set up, I'd definitely have, well, I'd more be leaning towards a laser cutter, but yeah, I mean, eventually something. Did I buy the Mini Cooper? I'm still waiting on the guy, so it's up in the air right now. You should use a panoramic top on it. Like I've said before, I don't really like sunroofs, and the hard tops are a lot lighter. The panoramic and the sunroofs are quite heavy. Plus, it takes away quite a bit. It takes away about 5 inches of headroom, which isn't that big of a deal. But when I have my racing helmet on, like when I'm in the Hellcat, the helmet literally, the edge of it hits against that edge on the headliner, and it's just really, really irritating. So that's pretty much the reason why I'm not putting a panoramic or a sunroof back in this car. And yeah, that's it. That's it. You and Trevor have a build off. You both have to build the worst SUV in history, Saturn Vue, and drive them through all 50 states and see who can go the furthest without needing a tranny. I mean, I thought those things blew head gaskets, not trannies. Okay. Been to a car show today in UK, loads of old Corvettes, US trucks, an old Chrysler Corp car. No Hellcats though, sadly. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, it'd probably be a pretty rare sight to see a Hellcat in Europe. So what you're saying is the more weight you put on the downward surface, the faster you will go. So you're literally creating momentum. So the more weight you have, the faster you're going to get going downhill. I mean, it's just, I mean, there's not enough wind. You're not going fast enough for wind resistance to really take I mean, it'll probably slow you down a little bit, but I mean, put a point on it. Make the point out of lead or something. I mean, I mean, it'd be a good experiment. Build 2 soapbox derby cars exactly the same, but put lead in one of them. Will you ever build a car completely from scratch using a chassis jig and everything, starting with just a rear axle and front spindles? I don't know, maybe. I've been thinking about building a, I mean, now that I'm going to say it, I think I've said it before, but I was going to buy a rolled over Trackhawk to make a cart out of, but then it went up too high. Actually, I won the bid, and then they like counter offered, and they were like, they wanted an extra $5,000 for it, and it was like super rolled over, and so I didn't end up getting it, but I think that'd be kind of cool. Ford project next. I mean, I might need a new truck, so I get like a newer. I don't really like the front ends on the 2020s, but maybe get like a 19 and rebuild it, an F450, or maybe, I don't know, maybe not a dually. We'll see. I don't know. Shout out from Orlando, Florida. What's going on? What kind of motor should you put in a go-kart, and how much can it handle? I mean, you could put a Hayabusa engine in there if you want. Hi, what's up, Patrick? What is the most powerful material you can make into a car? I don't even know what that means. Can I have the Magnum once you're finished? I'll give you my 97 Honda Civic. Yeah, I don't know about that. Hi, Dave. What's going on? Let's see. Resto mod cars are very expensive. Sometimes. I mean, it depends on how you resto mod them. Have you ever changed the gears in the diff? I've changed gears in diffs before. Not any of these diffs, but they're all the same pretty much. Once you do one, you can do them all. I would like to see you build a Magnum wagon with a Challenger front end. I've said this before. If I built a Challenger wagon, it'd just be a 2-door. I wouldn't turn a Magnum into a Challenger. I don't think a 4-door would look very good. And I've seen some renderings of the 4-door Challengers, and it's just, I don't know. It's just not. It doesn't look good. It would look better as a 2-door. Will work for Trackhawk parts. Can I see the Magnum's progress? It's pretty much exactly how it was in the last video. So if you want to see where it's at, just watch the video. The glow-in-the-dark caliper is sick, by the way. Thanks. I really liked how the glow-in-the-dark looked in the FC wheels. So I just decided that would be a great color, since I'm gonna paint the Charger a shade of blue, so they'll really go with the car. Let's see. Really want to know what you're going to do with the back door. So the back door, I'm probably going to have to use. I'm going to use I'm probably going to end up using the 300C door frames. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to be a mix between the 300C door frames and the Magnum door frames, because it's a little bit shorter. So the door's a little bit shorter, just by a little bit. So I'm gonna have to modify it just a little bit, and I think a mix of them, because I need the 300C so it actually has this outer. So on the Chargers and the newer cars, they have like this outer clip-on piece, and the Magnums and the older stuff had like it was like metal, and it was painted. So I'm gonna have it so the same kind of material clips on, and then I'm pretty sure that's just vinyl over it. But yeah, pretty much the same setup, but I need to make it look similar. to both subframes and from the track hog. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. How many cars do I have? I have quite a few. At least 15 to 20. For the older ones, you can't find the gears. Hold on. For the older ones, you can't find the gear. Would like a 323 or 355 in my 300C, but can't find the ring and pinion. I would just swap a rear subframe. So I just get a newer Charger, Challenger rear subframe out of a Scat Pack or something and just swap it right in. And then you don't have to do anything with the diffs. What do you value the Magnum after all said and done? Because you're going to have to increase insurance, because getting $1,500 after all the work you put in, God forbid someone hits you. So I've already talked to Haggerty, and they're gonna let me insure it for $200,000, as long as it doesn't have over 1,000 horsepower. So I've already pretty much talked to them and got everything sorted out. So once it's finished, I'll be able to insure this thing for like 200 grand, which is pretty much what I'm gonna, what I'm considering it's gonna be worth, because it'll be the only one out there. It'll be all Trackhawk swapped. I mean, all the engine upgrades, all that other stuff, all the drivetrain stuff, all the body work. They've pretty much already said that would be fine. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. So if it gets hit, I'm gonna get a check for 200 grand. So which I don't want it to get hit, because 100% I have too much work in this. I mean, if it got hit and I got 200 grand for it, I mean, all the time and effort I put into it, to me, it wouldn't be worth the money. So that being said, I mean, insurance is there to get you the money that, I mean, what your stuff's worth, but really my time, I consider my time worth more than the money. So yeah, I'd be really not happy if this thing got smashed. If I was driving this thing and somebody T-boned me in it, I would be so mad. What should I do if my car starts up with a screeching noise? Is that a problem? Yeah, I'd say it is. Can you build a T Challenger? I don't know what that means. How would you suggest to get a dent out of a car? I'd take it to a PDR guy. Don't care for show cars. If you can't drive it, it isn't worth it. So the thing about that is, you could literally make something not really 100% a show car. I mean, this thing, I'm gonna paint it and it's gonna look really good, but I'm gonna still drive it. So that's kind of the point behind, after I paint it, I'm gonna clear bra the whole car, just so I don't have to worry about rock trips and stuff like that. And when I do park, when I go to grocery stores and park and stuff, when I drive the Hellcat or my truck and stuff, I park at the back of the parking lot anyway. So yeah, it's hopefully you don't get one of those people that have to park next to you even though you're in the back of the parking lot, and then door ding you, because that's kind of lame. I want to do a similar project, but transforming a VW into a Ford. Do you have tips to blend different taillights? I mean, just pretty much kind of overcut what you're going to blend, and then the best thing to do when you blend stuff is to use one of those ledge tools. Somebody said what the name was, but I can't remember what it is. Do the subframes from the Trackhawk interchange with the LX or just the LD? They don't interchange at all, so I'm gonna have to make new subframes, which isn't that big of a deal. But Yeah, they don't interchange. The Trackhawk has um, a little bit wider stance in the back and the front, so um, of the subframe. So um, yeah, have you ever considered building a Challenger convertible? I mean, that'd probably be the easiest build ever. I could do that with my Hellcat in about like an hour. Just bust out the Sawzall, bust the windows out of it, and we'd have a convertible. T-tops, classic car rebuild. You do awesome work. Keep up the sweet, cool-looking build, man. Thanks, appreciate it. When is the 1997 Dodge Caravan Hellcat coming? Never. That's never gonna come. I mean, that's a mistake. 97 Caravan. You think the future is going to change how cars work in a massive way? I don't know. I feel like the only thing that's really gonna change cars is the whole pollution thing. Everybody is so worried about hybrid cars, and a lot of cars I think are gonna go towards the hybrid aspect until they start to see that now that they have more cars that are hybrids, it's really straining the grid that's already being strained because they're wanting to convert everything to solar and wind energy, which really isn't efficient. So they're going to have all these people trying to charge their Teslas and their e-cars, the new Ford e-car and all that stuff. They're going to be charging those, which is really going to peak the grid. So instead of having, so right now people have, so you have non-peak hours and you have peak hours. So you're paying more, like from, let's say when people are home from like 5 to 8 o'clock at night, and in the morning people are using a lot more energy. People are waking up in the morning, watching TV, making coffee, making dinner, stuff like that. So then you're going to have these people charging up their cars, which is going to really increase the peak hours, which is going to increase the cost of energy. So it's a double-bladed sword. And then you're going to have all these wind farms and all these solar farms that can't keep up with the grid because all these people are trying to charge their cars and charge all their BS. And it's just going to be one of those things. We're going to pretty much revert. They're going to figure out that all this clean energy crap, which doesn't really do anything, and causes more issues. They're going to figure that out, that it's not going to sustain all these hybrid cars, and then they're going to revert back to coal and fossil fuels. So I think it's just going to be this flip-flop thing. So until they actually let, I mean, people have made free energy devices and stuff like that. So until the companies stop looking at the bottom line, which is money to provide energy, and we go into this free energy era, then we're pretty much going to stay between fossil fuels, and it's just going to flip-flop back and forth pretty much till the end of time, until somebody wakes up and just provides the energy for free, and then it'll be a whole different thing. Then nobody will really have to worry about anything. So let's see. Sup, Dave? I plan on grabbing an LX Charger and body swapping with a 69 Charger. Only issue is I'll have to shorten the wheelbase 3 inches. Are they that different? I don't know. I mean, you could just like lengthen the fender like 3 inches or something like that. Door dings, drive, Yu-Gi-Ohs, and hell. I remember my dad one time. It was pretty funny. So he parked at the back of the parking lot with his BMW, and he had I'm pretty sure it was with his BMW. It might have been with my mom's Maxima or something. So my dad always keeps his cars really clean and keeps them washed and waxed. I mean, for ever. I've never seen him with a dirty car. But so he always parks at the back of the parking lot. So we go to Walmart. He parks at the back of the parking lot, and we come out, and I mean, there is this door ding. Like, these people parked next to him. There's nobody else in the parking lot. They parked right next to him, and door ding the side of his door. And dude, my dad like literally drop kicked this car and put the biggest dent in their door, and he just like got in the car and left. I was just like, damn. It was funny, but I'd probably do the same thing. So because in future, does you think, hold on, you're going to have to learn how to do all this stuff a whole different way? No, I don't think so. It's all pretty much just an advancement of what we have been doing. They're not gonna reinvent like how panels are put together or anything like that. I mean, they do update how when they use different materials, like on the Ford trucks, they use aluminum and steel. They have rivets, but they're not going to reinvent the wheel. They're just going to continue, doing what they've been doing, but just change things here and there throughout time. If I was a caveman and then I was transported to like now, I mean, you wouldn't know what the hell to do. But I mean, as long as you're constantly messing with stuff and messing with the newer cars, it's never going to change enough where you don't know what to do or it's too much. So hit the like button, y'all. Thanks, Destroyer 1320. Nikola Tesla's dream would be realized with free energy. I mean, it's literally so easy to make one of those towers, but I mean, I've seen multiple people that have made them and then they just like go to prison. Like that dude that made that car that ran on something, but it was like that piece of crap. Like it was a Yu-Gi-Oh or a Suzuki Swift, and then he was in federal prison for something. But it's just funny because those things are so easy to make. It'd be so easy to provide like free energy to the whole world, but it's one of those things. I mean, nobody would make money. All the oil companies and electric companies would go out of business, and they wouldn't have any more billion-dollar dinners and stuff like that. So gonna do the Grizzly Adams beard. No, I'm not. I'll turn a VW Logos into an Escort coupe just for your curiosity. That doesn't sound like a good time. We need hydrogen powered cars as that's the most abundant source on the planet. Technically, if you use all the water to power your vehicles, you're not going to have anything to drink. And then, so one thing I've really thought about for a long time. I've thought about this for quite a long time. So, if you think about why the ice caps are melting, you think about how, I really don't want to get in this because people are going to talk shit, but so all the scientists are talking about how global warming is melting the ice caps and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So one thing they never talk about is the sun is expanding. So the sun will keep expanding until it collapses on itself and makes a black hole. But that's one factor. It puts out more radiation each year. That's another factor. But the other factor they're not considering is we started desalinizing water a long time ago, and to make clean water in cities that are by the ocean. They desalinize the water, they take the salt, and they sell it. Well, when you mess up that balance of salt to water ratio, what's the salt going to do? It's going to just, and the Navy also does it. They desalinize the water, but they pump the salt back in the ocean. The ice caps, it's gonna want to balance itself out. It's an ecosystem. It wants balance. So it's just gonna keep melting the ice because it's clean, fresh water, and it's just gonna restore that balance into the ecosystem. I mean, it's been happening for so long. I mean, they're just thinking that. I mean, if you ever, so recently we had all the smoke here from the California fires. So it's usually 100 degrees here regardless during the summer. But when there was a lot of smoke here, I mean, there's still a little bit of smoke here, but not as much. It blocked out the sun, which it felt a lot cooler. The sun wasn't as harsh on you. I mean, it just seemed, you know, the little bit more pollution. I mean, pollution to a point isn't that great, but I mean, not having any pollution at all is probably the same kind of, you know, damage to the ecosystem as having too much. So I mean, there has to be that balance because there's always going to be pollution. I mean, throughout history, I mean, volcanoes erupt, it puts particulate in the atmosphere. I mean, there's always going to be something, but um, I think trying to make zero pollution and, you know, make all this stuff 100% clean is kind of the wrong way that we need to go. So, and also we bottle a lot of fluids. So all that water that used to run from the Rocky Mountains to the ocean doesn't anymore. So there isn't that. I mean, then the water gets that much more salty. I don't know. I might be saying things and people might just think I'm an idiot, but I mean, it's a balance. So when you mess the balance up, something has to compensate for it. Hello from the Netherlands. What's going on? Another car rebuild after the Charger Magnum build. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to do something. I'll have to rebuild something, but I also have quite a few other projects, so I might work on getting the FD done, or maybe starting on the 240Z or something like that. We'll see. I mean, I'll always buy new projects, but we'll see. No more Dodges. They're too stupid on parts delivery time. I know. I mean, I really, if they got the parts when they were supposed to in a timely manner and didn't have all these issues, I feel like, you know, the projects would be that much more enjoyable, because you wouldn't be so, you know, it kind of stresses me out not knowing when certain things are coming, and you never know if it's going to be here on time. They always push the dates back. I mean, I've had, you know, that one panel, I still don't have it, but I'm going to end up using the other panels, but they've literally pushed that thing back like 4 times. So each time's like a month, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So I don't know why the hell people always want to park next to cars at the back of the lot. I hate it. Way worse than slow drivers in the fast lane. Am I right? I hate people driving in the fast lane slow, and then they act like it's your fault that you're like trying to make them go into the slow lane. I mean, they'll be sitting next to the only other car on the highway doing the exact same speed, and they get mad. But yeah, that's the worst. Do you know what the difference is? Hemi 2003, 2008 heads and 2010 and up heads? I'm not sure. I'm guessing the newer ones have the variable valve timing. Hello from Chicago. What's going on? Are you planning a permanent or a switchable all-wheel drive train? What kind of LSDs you want to put in? So I'm just using everything from the Trackhawk. So the Trackhawk has an electronically controlled transfer case, and the front and rear differentials are LSD, and they're 370 ratios. So shouldn't have any issues. Everything should work. I should still be able to have it rear wheel drive when I want to do donuts or, you know, burn off or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I just, and when I want it to hook, I'll just turn the all-wheel drive on. What's your opinion on biodiesel vehicles? Are you for it or against it? I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's really a pain to make biofuel. I mean, it's really dirty, the process and everything, cleaning. I mean, it depends on what kind of oil you're using, I guess. But you always have to kind of clean the if you're using food processed oil, like stuff that they use for McDonald's or something like that. You have to clean all the stuff out of it, and it's a whole big process. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's pretty much free, depending on if you get it for free or not. A lot of people will get the used cooking oil and stuff like that for free, but it's almost like free fuel, which is nice. Dude, can you make a wheel car rim? I mean, I don't know. Out of what? I mean, I could probably design one in SolidWorks and have it CNC'd, but That's quite a bit of money. What's your thoughts about E85? I mean, E85 is cool, but at the end of the day, unless you buy E85 that is you know, in like a 55-gallon drum from a company, you're never getting that consistent E85. I mean, from the fuel stations, it's just always inconsistent. And when you're making a lot of power and you have a lot of money in your engine, you don't want to have that issue with inconsistencies. So, I mean, if I do make this, I mean, it will have a flex fuel sensor, so it will know when it has E85 in or what the blend is. But I think they actually do factory have a flex fuel sensor in it, the Hellcats and the Scat Packs, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But if I do E85, I won't go to the gas station to get E85. I'll just blend it with E85 out of a 55-gallon drum like that I buy. So mag hard as fuck. Chicago support. Thanks, appreciate it. Sorry if you covered this, but what color for the Magnum Charger? So it's going to be a shade of blue. I'm not exactly sure I haven't gone to the paint store. I want to do a few spray outs and kind of decide if I want to do frostbite blue, just to do a factory color, or if I want to do, you know, a light blue, a light metallic blue with a candy top coat. And, you know, I just want to look into it. I want it to be a lighter blue, a lighter shade of blue, but I'm not sure. There's just so many colors out there, and I want it to look really good. So I don't want it to look bland. I want it to really flow nice with the car. I was thinking about doing the same color as the Hellcat, but then I was thinking red is just not the right color for this car. So what about natural gas powered vehicles? Is it good or bad? So the good thing about compressed natural gas, well, the bad thing is the tanks. It's really hard to fit the tanks places because, so when I worked for Cummins, I was in energy solutions, and we did a lot of compressed natural gas and biofuels and stuff like that. So it's really nice because it's like 110. The compressed natural gas is like 110 equivalent, I don't know, it's like 160 equivalent octane, 110 or 160 equivalent octane, and the only real issue is storing it. So the tanks are kind of bulky, and trying to fit those tanks, because they have to be round cylinders to hold the pressure, because you're at like 3,000, 5,000 psi, and you're just kind of limited. So if I wanted to make this compressed natural gas, I would have an issue, because the only spot that I'd have to put the tanks would be in the back, pretty much here. So I'd have to pretty much cut this whole piece out, fit the tanks, make this flat, put a flat piece of sheet metal, and then have like 3 tanks, which would be around 16 equivalent gallons of fuel, and then fill it up and stuff like that. So I have been wanting to make a compressed natural gas car, but just the fuel tanks are such a pain. And then the carbon fiber ones, which save you a lot of weight over the steel ones, they're very expensive. They're like $3 to $6 grand, I think, a tank. So let's see. Shooting brake Camaro. I don't know what that means. I have a Dodge Magnum. Will you be able to help me convert it? It's way too much time to convert it to one of these. You have to pay for it. I'm gonna put a Hellcat blower on a 5.7 Dodge Magnum RT, all-wheel drive. What do you think? Unless somebody makes a adapter, the supercharger isn't gonna fit. Unless it's an aftermarket one, but a stock one won't fit. Just an FYI, Dodge did that, I think, on purpose. Let's see. Hi, greetings from Germany. What's going on? Would you ever consider making RV out of a commercial truck or emergency vehicle like ambulance? I have thought about it. I haven't found the right one for the project. Gotta go, Dave. Peace out. See ya, Tony. Hi from the UK. What's up? Oh man. What color? I'm not sure yet. Hello, Dave. What's up, Robert? Would love to see you rebuild a wrecked Tesla, but they might be even worse than Dodge with the parts. Technically, I don't think you can get the parts at all unless you get like salvage parts. Hi, greetings from Germany. What's up? Not a question, but love your voice. Thanks. Volvo Pulsar Blue. I'll have to check that out. Hello from the Philippines. What's up? MPX makes a kit. What a kit for what? Are you getting a side-by-side also? I have no use for one of those. I don't think I'd spend, I don't know how much they are, but I think they're like 20 plus grand. And I don't think I'd ever spend that much money on a side-by-side. So let's see. So it's been an hour and 11 minutes. I think I'm gonna work on a few more things, get this stuff ready to take over to the body shop tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching the videos and the live stream. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.